right now. Is this your third?
My third, yes.
Okay. And I understand, I mean, coming to Cannes is a big deal.
Yes.
Have you, were you like hoping and really excited about that idea, that prospect? Is that something you've been wanting?
I've been coming to Cannes for years, so and we've like, the last two movies were in the market here, which I got, you know, I'll tell my mum that it's in Cannes, but it's not really in Cannes because it's in the market. So to get something in here properly is quite mind blowing. Really. You know, it feels like it's something we've been working towards for years and years. And it's the continuity of Cannes, isn't it? It's like when you look at the other films that have played here, that's them. And to be, you know, edging into that is good.
Next to the competition.
Yeah, exactly. One day.
So the other person who's been sort of pivotal in putting you forward is Tim Lane.
Yes.
I understand. Tell me how that happened.
Well, Tim is we met Tim through Fantastic Fest in Austin when we did the when we made Down Terrace, the first film, and that, you know, and he's kind of the linchpin of all this stuff. Without what happened in Austin, we wouldn't. I think it would have been much harder to get where we are now. So, and I think that the tale he tells about that, what happened with Down Terrace, is so. He so teeters on a knife edge that whether or not he had got into Fantastic Fest. He said they were watching like loads of, you know, films about robots and ninjas and stuff and all that kind of thing, and then this film came on. It was really strange, and they were going to turn it off after 2 minutes, and someone was there and said, "Oh no, just leave it for a little bit longer." And they went like that through the whole film, where they just gave it another 2 minutes, and then at the end went, "Yeah, I think that's pretty good. We should put that in." And then it ends up winning the New Wave Award. And so, you know, that, but you just know that could have so easily gone the other way, you know.
You would have emerged from, someone else would have discovered you.
I was talking to one of the guys at Rotterdam, because we sent it to 2 festivals when we made it. We sent it to Tim, we sent it to Rotterdam, and we got into Rotterdam as well. And at Rotterdam, I chatted to one of the guys there, and I'm not sure if he wasn't pulling my leg, but he said how some of the films get selected there is they've got this woman who watches everything, and she's the first point of selection, basically. And she watches hundreds of movies, and she watches them for a couple of minutes and just goes like that. So, which is obviously, you know, if you've got like 10,000 films, there's no other way. How else are you going to actually?
There are gatekeepers.
Yeah. So to get past that, I was like, wow. You know,
No, but on the other hand, I have to tell you, as having done some of this myself, you know, when you're presented with so much crap and something good pops on, you go,
oh my God, yeah. I mean, it kind of come out of also through. I mean, I've made films for years, like little short films, and I've made them before the internet, and made them and taken them to film clubs and shown them. You show them once and then just go in the drawer and never be seen again. And so the kind of being able to make movies wasn't the hard bit, the production bit wasn't the difficult bit. It's what happens after it's finished is the problem.
A lot of filmmakers are discovering that now.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying, oh, well, you have to be your own marketer, you have to do your own social media. What's your attitude toward that?
Well, we were lucky in the respect that the kind of mixture of people that were involved in the project was just right. So Andy Stark, who's the producer on Down Terrace, Claire Jones is the producer of Kill SIGHTSEERS, but Andy was on Down Terrace. He runs a label called Mondo Macabro, which is a DVD label which has been going for 10 years, 15 years, which does basically him and his partner Pete Toombs go out and find world cinema and they release it. Weird kind of. But they do like they'll do Indonesian stuff or like Lady Terminator and all these kinds of movies. So they had Andy had a handle on what it was, what the Méliès festival circuit was, who people like Tim were, where you could place a movie, what the best festival would be to send it to. And he could talk to he knew Alan Jones, he knew all these guys. He goes to SIGHTSEERS, he goes to, and knew about Fantastic Fest. So without Andy's bit of knowledge there, we wouldn't have been able to do any of it.
And then South by became a major breakthrough for the Kill List.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
But then that was Tim again.
So even it was Tim again.
Yeah, yeah.
Even I've heard of it. That was when he was programming the midnight.
Yeah, yeah. So we were on Tim's bit of the South by Midnights. So back to the Animal Draft House, back premiering there. So yeah. So yeah, you know.
So has it been getting easier to get the funds that you need to make these idiosyncratically violent films?
Yeah. I mean, I think they're economic, so they're fine. You know.
How much did this one cost?
£1.2 million. So.
And it's mostly for the road trip, presumably. I mean, that costs a little bit.
We shot more. We shot a month. The Kill List was 3 weeks, so. So we shot a bit more, and yeah, it's a bigger scope of it's bigger, you know, crew's bigger.
So explain the writing process with you and your lead actors. How do you come up with it? Because it's a really good script, but it sounds semi-Mike Leigh to me.
What happened was that I had a meeting at Big Talk, who produced Spaced and Edgar Wright's production, Naira Park. And I had a script that was written by Alice Lowe and Steve Oram, with the stars, and I knew them. I'd worked with them before, and I kind of went. I really like the idea of the script, and I like the idea of working with people who can improvise really well, because their backgrounds in kind of stand-up comedy and TV comedy. So we had the script, and I read it with Amy Jump, who's my wife and co-writer of Kill List, and co-editor of Rob Hill, who's Kill List Associates. So we kind of restructured the script a bit and kind of did a bit of a rewrite here and there to bring in more, basically to kind of line it in with the what we'd learned off the back of doing those other 2 movies, of having that full experience of going through from the script all the way through to the final product. So it's a main structural kind of upheaval kind of thing. And then on set we kind of I used the same techniques that we did with Down Terrace and Kill List, where you do like you do one on the script and then you do a paraphrase version of the script, which is kind of light improvisation but not wild improvisation. And then we did running in and running out, so you do like 2 minutes before the script and then 2 minutes after the script. So then we did just plain old making stuff up, where we'd be filming and they'd either let them go and they'd do whatever, or we'd have a quick talk about what was going to happen and they'd do it, or I'd shout from behind the camera, why don't you talk about this, blah, blah, blah. And out of that then you get enough material to bring it all together. And we shot about 120 hours of rushes and then boiled it back down, right down. So Ames and I went home, disappeared for 4 months, edited it, crushed it down into what you saw.
So you introduce this mother who's going, seems to be going crazy, and you introduce this mysteriously, accidentally killed dog.
Yeah.
And then you're on the road with this couple, but you leave mysterious things. You leave a lot of things hanging, and you reveal as you go along. Explain your approach there.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think it's just that thing of spoon-feeding stuff is always dangerous. You don't really want to. Mysteries are more interesting than answers half the time, and you want to put the audience into a mode of thinking, not in a mode of dozing, and kind of just it rolling over them, or them being so far ahead of you that they know what they're already thinking about. The next film they're going to see, because they've seen the end of your film in their head as they're watching the first act.
Very much the case most of the time. There is a moment in this film where you certainly go, aha, she's married to someone who had, who maybe a serial killer, and then that you get a good punchline out of that later. But what's also really funny about this is that we don't know what her hidden depths are and what she's capable of.
Yeah, she blossoms in the film. She comes into her own.
Exactly.
I really like that, and I like the idea that he's got a hobby that he shares with her, and she turns out to be much better at it than him. I think that's the heart of the film. And she's a natural and he's a wannabe. You know, he's too uptight to get into it properly.
So how did it work out in terms of the distribution on this movie? How was that revealed to you? Who was going to pick it up and so on?
There was a sales screening, and then loads of people bought it. That was what happened.
It was that simple, but very quickly.
Yeah. And I think there was buzz because of Kill List, so that helped a lot. But then everyone liked it, and that's all it is, isn't it? You know?
So who picked up Kill List? Who released that in the States?
IFC.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So, and they did. Were you happy with how that went?
Yeah. I mean, you know.
Pretty much VOD, right?
No, it had its little theatrical run. You know, I was at the City Family and it played in LA and it was great. You know, there was loads of people. And I think it ran for a week there and it ran for a week at IFC Centre, and then it was loads of little cinemas all over the States, tiny little runs here and there that I would monitor via Twitter and go, oh, it's playing there, is it? Oh, well, good luck. So, you know, I think they got it out there, and I mean, it's a tough film, so yeah. What are you going to do? It's one of those things. It could go gangbusters or not, and I wouldn't. There's no kind of, you know. It's like it's a difficult film narratively, and it's a difficult film kind of just for people to understand what they're saying. So
here's my secret theory about this kind of film, and see if you think this is true. That one of the structures of a lot of American movies is the idea that people in a movie theater really love it when someone else is being anarchic and chaotic and doing all the things that they're not allowed to do. But most of the time, there's an order and you return to the status quo by the end, which is also reassuring. You do not do this.
No, but you know, it never used to be like that. You know, in the 70s, things never got returned to the status quo, did they? Or even into the 80s. But this is the last 20 years that this has been this kind of TV style, you know, everything's going to be all right kind of ending started turning up. The last one I think the last one that I saw at the cinema and went, wow, that's a great 70s ending, was was Terminator 3, you know, and
Hostile.
Yeah, and they're going, oh, we've just caused into the world, fuck. Yeah, it's like we're trapped in a bunker and it's not even John Connors didn't even save it. It's this girl, his missus or something. And I thought that was fantastic, you know.
But you want the audience to sort of get off on this unexpected pleasure that this couple is able to do things that most of us are really not allowed to do.
Absolutely, that's part of it. But it's also that thing of dragging the audience hither and thither and kind of, you know, making sure they're behind you, not in front of you, you know. And